What's up, guys? This is Enhander from Fear Productions, and today I want to show you, if you haven't already seen the helmet cam video that I posted of Day of Days scenario event that we attended here recently. It may or may not be posted by the time this video goes live. So if this video goes live and you haven't seen the helmet cam video, go check it out. And reverse, if you've already seen that, come check this out if you want more details. You'll see why here in a second. I wanted to overview one of the markers that briefly made it into that video. I will have more footage of it coming up because it was quite the attention getter at that scenario, especially being a World War II scenario, or a World War II themed scenario. As a lot of the longtime follower or subscribers to the channel know, I used to have, or I built my own 98 custom Thompson, and I will put a picture of it on the screen right now. I think I did a pretty good job, and I do still have instructions on how I did that variation. If people are interested, I'll dig those instructions up and I'll send them along. They used to be on our website when we had a website just out there. If anyone wanted to build it, I also had one for P90A5 and a G36 Ion. And what else did I do? There was one other one that I did, I think. I digress. So now that this is the second year I've been playing paintball again, and I was just getting the itch to have another Thompson. I want another Thompson, but back then when I made that Thompson 98, those parts for Thompson SMGs were really easy to come by. Like, I don't want to say easy to come by because original World War II parts were a little bit easier to find back then. They were cheaper, and you could also get reproduction parts because Car Arms or Auto Ordnance makes an M1 reproduction. I used to own one, so they make reproduction parts, but they're expensive. And even the original parts now, they're even more expensive. So trying to build something like that again was adding up. Like, I have the 98 custom. I was getting ready to strip the paint off of it to do the Dremel work and get it all prepped and ready. And then I was perusing the forums at M. Carter Brown, and I found what I'm going to show you here in a second, and fell in love with it instantly. Now I'll show you the picture of it as I bought it from the user on MCB, and then I'll show that now. And now let me show you what it looks like. I haven't done much work to it. I repainted it. I just put a darker coat of parkerization on it and a new barrel and an actual Thompson front sight. So I'll shut up and show you what I did. So here she is. The old Thompson M1 that looks a whole lot better than the one that I built back in the day, let me tell you. The user that made this, and I'm not going to publicly put his stuff on here unless he sees this video and wants to, get public recognition and stuff like that, in which case I'll put it in the comments and stuff. He did an absolutely amazing job on this. I mean, this body kit is fabricated out of metal, and it looks almost one-to-one. I didn't ask him how he went about doing it, but it's pretty much a one-to-one scale of a Thompson body. The only difference being is on this side there's a sling mount, which worked out wonderful because I had a single point sling and it just mounted right there perfectly. Even with the lower the trigger guard section here and the magazine mount, that's all fabricated out of metal. The grip is all wood. Now I'm probably going to have to get a new grip made. This one is actually cracking. I actually did some more damage to it during the game on a couple Saturdays ago. But I think I can get a new one made. But it's beautiful. This is what I wanted my Thompson to look like back in the day. I just didn't have the resources available to do it. I wanted to make this cut out on the side and cut the other side of my 98 Custom to actually have the charging handle on and the bolt on the right, the correct side of the marker like a Thompson would. It's just awesome. This is a real Thompson stock. The only thing that's missing is the butt plate, which I will be finding and purchasing a butt plate for it. I'm not going to put a sling mount down here simply because I have a sling mount right there and it will just look funky. This is a fabricated, to my knowledge, a fabricated rear sight because it doesn't have the actual peep aperture in the back. I'm cool with that, especially because it's riveted in the top. I was thinking if it was screwed in, I would unscrew it and buy an actual Thompson M1 rear sight aperture and put that on there, but it's okay. This is fine. I redid the air from what it was. It was poking out the side, so my remote line was coming out to here. I just put an angled remote fitting on it. I'm still going to rework it a little bit more. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm either going to run it down through the mag, or I'm going to run a macro along here. Rig it up somehow where it's a little bit more feasible, because when I'm holding it, and you can see in some of the pictures, I might post one, you can actually see the remote line, which is sticking out down here, then it goes under my arm. But the magazine's a real Thompson magazine, and it's actually just friction fit on right now. And it's, I played the entire first mission, which was the Normandy invasion. It was a 45-minute long mission with it just like this. There's nothing else holding it on here but friction. And it comes off just like that. For ease of moving it around, I'll leave the magazine off. The handguard, he actually fabricated the handguard himself. It tripped me out at first because I actually thought it was a real Thompson handguard, but it's not. He made it. Did a really great job with it. I don't know why to begin with. When I bought mine, I didn't think about doing this cut out to get it to sit back a little further. Great idea. Now I had mine clasped on with a pipe clamp that you can tighten down with a screw. This is just a zip tie. It seems to be working fine. I would like to figure out a way to get some kind of system in here to where it's actually attached to the receiver itself, the marker itself, so the handguard would be free floating of the barrel. Might talk to some of my smart friends who might be able to figure out something with that. This is the same barrel that I had on my other Thompson. It's a J&J 10-inch. Point of interest with this barrel, I could not find one being commercially sold anywhere. I had to go to J&J Direct to get it. And J&J Performance is still out there. I know a lot of stuff has changed from when I started playing to like when I quit, and then when I started playing again. Like J&J barrels, at least this one is hard to find. They're still out there, but man, a lot of stuff has changed. I might do a video about that later on. But this is a real Thompson front sight. Got it off eBay. Now, to give you an example, back when I made my other Thompson 98, one of these was like $6.99. You could come by, get them dime a dozen on sites like Numrich, Sarco, like all the major sites that sell surplus parts for guns like this, for actual firearms like World War II firearms and stuff. Cheap, Thompson front sight, $6.99, $7.99, stuff like that. This was $30 shipped. So it was kind of I bought it and I had to Dremel the bottom of it because it's also friction fit, and then stretch it out to fit over the barrel. So the things you do, huh, to make stuff look realistic. Trying to think of what else other than the paint I used was from Brownells. It's the Brownells Parkerized paint. I sprayed it. I followed the instructions on the back. I sprayed it once, let it sit and cure for 30 minutes. Spray it again, let it sit and cure for 30 minutes, and then I sprayed it with a clear coat of Krylon clear paint and let it sit cure for 24 hours. And it seems to have held up. I mean, the only places that it has rubbed off really is around here where the mag goes in, and it's got, you know, it's got a really hold in there. But every other place that I sprayed has held up. I mean, I was in a situation in that D-Day scenario that I was getting sprayed with paint everywhere. My mask, I would look like I got, like, imagine standing in front of a mesh net and people shooting the mesh net, and I was behind the mesh net covered in paint. Well, this was the marker that I was using that game, and it was also covered in paint like that. But none of the paint, you know, I wiped the marker down and everything, you know, it's fine. But this thing's just absolutely beautiful, and it turned heads at that game, you know, because World War II scenario, you know, it was kind of awkward because we were on the German side. But, and a quick point of note for those new guys who maybe have not used a J&J barrel, at one point during that game, I did have a ball break. Somewhere, it either broke coming out or something had happened where I got paint down the barrel. Now, some of you new guys might not know, J&J barrels are ceramic coated. And by ceramic coating them, the theory behind that is you don't, unless it's a very bad break, you don't have to clean the barrel. It's supposed to clean itself within a few shots. Well, I noticed I took one shot, and I didn't actually see the break, but I knew that there was a break that occurred. Either that or paint had got in the barrel from there being so much paint around me. And my shot just, you know, it went wherever it wanted. So I'm like, okay, I got a break. But I'm going to test this J&J barrel out to see how bad, you know, in my mind I'm thinking, let's see how bad my break is. So I shot 3 or 4 more times, and sure enough, within those 2 or 3 shots, I was back on target. These barrels are no joke. So if you're in the market for a new barrel, check out J&J. You might be surprised. But I've rambled on enough. Look for this guy to be in some more videos. I know I really try to hover around MagFed Play simply because it's more economical for me. It's cheaper, and that's why I got back into paintball. But when I saw this, I couldn't pass it up. Now, I mean, the only other thing I did have to do to it, other than a couple other small things like the additions that I did, I had to rebuild the internals completely. Like new O-rings, it needed a whole cleansing on the inside. Did that, works like a champ. I got it, you know, to have another Thompson and to have a gun where I can go out. And I got the Fear Eggy. I don't know if you can see it up there, but you'll see it in the video briefly. I say briefly, if you haven't seen the video, my helmet camera, I forgot to delete the previous videos off my SD card. So I got about 1 minute and 30 seconds or less footage of me using this out of the 45 minutes that I used this. I was so mad. But there'll be more footage of this coming on days when I have enough money to buy a case of paint and I just feel like shooting up some paint. So go ahead and get the mag back in here. So there she is, guys. The Thompson 98 Custom. I have another one back in my possession. It's beautiful. Later on, I may paint it all black, but we'll see. What do you guys think? Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Have any questions? Let me know. Thank you for watching. God bless. Have a great day.